Hello, I'm Mike Robinson. Another little recipe for you. I'm here today with my buddy Ross, who we've been steers talking together.
Hello.
Ross, tell him what you do.
No.
No. He's modest, but he's a bit of a legendary Asian-based chef, so he cooks amazing Asian food. Has recently had a group of 10 amazing restaurants in London, and before that was the exec chef at Zuma.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who knows his cooking. He's not cooking Asian today. We're cooking some properly British wild food. And I'm gonna just show you the hero ingredient. What I got here is a little pack of stunning fallow deer chops. Now, I've cooked fallow chops before, but not these ones. These babies from our deer larder, from our barn larder. And all I've done is I got them out of the Deer Box packaging. They come from our lovely company, Deer Box. And these have been dry aged in a salt chamber for 28 days. So not a lot of people think about dry aging venison, but there's no reason why it shouldn't work.
No, of course.
And
be like butter.
And they'll be like butter. These are off a big deer. So these are off a male deer, which was shot just before the fallow deer rut, off a fallow deer, and then they've been dry aged in a rack as a whole saddle actually for 28 days. Cool as hell. And there's quite a few of these available. We laid down a few. Deerbox.co.uk. All your venison needs. You can go online, you can order specific cuts, or you can have a big mixed box of venison delivered next day to your door. So as I say, deerbox.co.uk. So we were talking about doing old school Aussie style chops, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously in Australia, we crumb lamb chops a lot. You don't see it in lots of other parts of the world. So I said, let's do that.
I think it's
and
a
then
blinding
we'll cook
idea.
it with, just to cut through the fat of that, once you've got it in breadcrumbs, you do a little slaw with some fresh mint from the garden and your pickled walnuts that you did earlier in the year.
From the tree in the garden?
From the tree, a little bit of lemon zest, and we'll take your honey from your bees and your damson jam that you made, damson jelly.
Jelly, yeah. And that's from damson trees 10 yards around the corner there.
Just there.
So everything from here, venison, damsons, honey, pickled walnuts, wild food at its absolute finest. I think you should come and have a look at these chops. They are, this is extraordinary actually.
It's great, huh?
And also, so you'd imagine that you age a piece of venison for 28 days, it might get strong, it might get smelly. That's amazing. It's sweet, there's no mustiness, there's no funk to it. And often when beef gets very well aged, you get a funk, like a blue cheese. Yeah. No way, it's stunning. So I'm just gonna cut these in half. These beautiful double chops. Gorgeous. Here we go. Lovely. So I've got four chops here, and we're gonna make a little breadcrumb, and we're gonna breadcrumb them. Sounds a bit crazy, but actually it will protect the meat while it cooks, give us a lovely crunch on the outside, and I'm gonna saute them, I'm gonna fry them off in goose fat with rosemary and garlic. Oh. They'll cook evenly and quickly, eh?
Yeah, and you get a nice surface area to get lots of breadcrumbs through, so it's nice.
And I'm loving this little bit of fat down the bottom.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. They look crazy. Crazy good. All right, well, I'm going to whiz up this little crumb mixture while you do that. What are you putting in?
So I've just used your pickle liquor.
Oh, nice.
Use that instead.
So the pickle liquor is malt vinegar and red wine vinegar mixed together.
Yeah, so that is just a bit of your damson and a bit of your honey. That'll dress the cabbage.
So you're going to cook it down. Bottom right hole. Yeah, that's it.
Just heat it to just to melt it all.
Yeah.
However,
Here we go. I always think venison loves black pepper a lot. These are, you know what, I'll tell you what the dry aging has done is it's changed the texture of the venison.
it's firmed it right up, hasn't it?
It's firmed it right up, it's drier, it looks more like a piece of beef fillet.
Massively. So you wanna...
It's going to be amazing. We've got quite a lot of these beautiful saddles dry aged, and if this works well and people have more demand, then we'll do more, we'll lay more down. It's such a cool thing to do. I mean, I love it. My next home goal is to have a dry ager here in the house that I can then have all this stuff. The lady behind the camera is looking very worried at this point that I want my own dry aging cabinet so I can do it here because it's such a cool thing to do. Okay, so we got seasoned flour, we got seasoning, so we've seasoned everything. so it's good to go. And we're going to pane. So paneing, in fact, before I pane, I'm going to get the oil on. It's only going to take a jiffy, isn't it? Do you know that pickling liquor? You've got the mace and the cloves in there. Really spicy and delicious. There we go. Get a decent amount of. You want a lot. There we go, that'll do it. And I've got some cloves of garlic I'm going to throw in. Sprigs of rosemary for flavour. Gorgeous. First things first, you always dust them in flour. But dust them, don't destroy them. And dusting them in flour then allows the egg wash, which is just 2 of my eggs, by the way, same next door to the beehives. So again, all our own produce. And I'm going to lay that in there and leave the bone exposed. Double or single?
Okay, double. Get that fat all covered too.
Yeah. So we're going to double crumb, and double crumbing is creates a real armour on this. So I'm going to go back in. Go back in again. Give it a little pat. Oh, hello. How's that look for you, fella?
Perfect.
Proper double crumb.
Just take that out of that pot so it cools a little bit. I'm just going to just run a knife relatively finely through these mint leaves. Just cut them a bit like the cabbage that I cut, so when you pick it up together, it should down there nicely. And then I'll just finely slice some of these walnuts. I want it all just to cut it so that it picks
They come out well, eh?
Yeah, so that it picks up together with a fork or whatever without, you don't want...
Pickled walnut is one of those ingredients that's come back in fashion in recent years.
Yeah, massively.
I mean, you know, it's a really Victorian thing to do.
Popular in Italy too, huh?
Is it?
Yeah. It's the first time I tasted them was in Italy.
I bet you back in medieval times, everyone cooked the same stuff all across Europe, or did it the same way. It's preserving, isn't it? Now the secret is I'm not going to touch them. Literally, I'm going to leave these to cook, let them get golden brown on one side before we flip them over, and then once I flip them over, I'll start spooning or hot oil over them to get the colour in there. Oh. That's actually quite exciting.
Right, so I'm just going to zest a little bit of lemon into this. This one.
Main event.
Well, they can rest. They're just gorgeous, Ross.
Right.
And they're so crispy. They're not greasy at all. Just beautiful. Crunchy, crispy. And I reckon if we let them rest for a minute or so.
Yeah.
Just going to
Do that first.
have a look at that.
Yes, sexy.
Nice lemon.
I'll just finish
A
this.
couple of those on just for the suggestion. There we are. So this is hispi cabbage, eh?
Yes, which is sweet, and then basically a kind of a, you know, imagine a bit sweet, sour, the honey, the damson, the vinegar, then a bit of mint. So now you put those right in my way.
They weren't there.
Exactly. That should be.
It's not bad, mate. Not bad at all.
Should be be tasty. And that'll cut through the fat of that. So.
Nice.
Check it out.
Perfect.
There you are, mate. Dry aged, 28-day dry aged crispy venison parcel. Oh my.
How good's that?
That's better than good.
Mate.
Dry aged venison.